worrying will eventually pass as we're ground under the chariot wheels of climate collapse. Having Brexit at the end of a year like this is like finding out your cancer has spread to the walls of your house. Personally, I think that sooner or later the British will re-enter Europe, admittedly, as refugees. One major problem in Britain is that everyone over the age of about 55 sort of thinks that they fought in the Second World War. You didn't fight Hitler, Kevin. You've sleepwalked onto the drive in your pants again. In April, Keir Starmer became leader of the opposition, the first time an unpainted fence post has held that role. And in many ways, the Labour Party is the natural choice to run a bitterly divided country full of people who hate each other. Why do people think the Labour Party are more shambolic than the Tories? Just look at their forward planning. They've already lost the next election. Keir Starmer's chief tactic has been lulling the Conservative Party into a completely accurate sense of security. Keir Starmer, who always looks like an Anglican vicar trying to hold in a fart at a funeral, seems to be operating on the theory that if you're forgettable and you don't give any useful opinion, no one can hate you. Although Vernon Kay is living proof that isn't true. Joining us to conclude our journey through 2020, please welcome Kenny Pritchard McLean.
Hi guys.
Hi, Kerry.
You're okay?
Yeah, we're good, man. How's Wales been?
It's been okay. It's been interesting. I think the future of Wales politically is really exciting but nerve-wracking at the same time, because there's a ever-swelling sort of movement towards independence in Wales.
And do a lot of Welsh Labour supporters support independence?
I mean, I've not done a survey on the way in, but I think people are divided. I think the people who are generally centre-left will move towards Plaid, or definitely move towards joining things like Yes Cymru, which promote independence in Wales. Obviously, there's all sorts of arguments for independence, but, you know, that's what a lot of people have said to me about their reason for wanting to not be a part of Westminster, is it can't be worse than it is.
But wasn't that the reason most people voted Brexit?
Yeah, and I suspect that how lots of people in Brexit saw the UK as being sort of put upon by the EU and, you know, like treated badly is definitely how people feel.
I think we should get the toll booths back.
Yes. I've always wanted to operate a toll booth. It's just a modest dream. But anything where you're like king of your castle and there's perspex, I get really excited about that.
It's quite well paid.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, you get to keep all the money they give you. Maybe they should be there with injections. Maybe the toll booth guys should be there. If you want to enter the country, then you have to get injected.
It could be like a car wash of Brexit.
Please keep your windows open.
Now, back in April, Jeremy Corbyn stepped down as leader of the opposition, and the Labour Party undertook a radical rebranding with the replacement of an unelectable 70-year-old man with an unelectable 57-year-old man. Sir Keir Starmer, a sort of human abstention, a man so boring that already he's been nicknamed Sir Keir Starmer. Here's the echoey and stilted speech Sir Keir delivered to the Labour conference in September.
I'm delighted that we're here in Doncaster. My wife's mum was born and grew up here, just next to the racecourse. We're regulars here, visiting family friends, but also, of course, to go to the Ledger. Sadly, not this year. I'm also told that this is the first Labour leader's speech in Yorkshire since Harold Wilson in 1967. The circumstances were a bit different then. For one thing, Wilson was able to update conference about Labour's achievements after 3 years in government. So I look forward to coming back one day in the same circumstances that brought Wilson here.
I think another difference is that Wilson wasn't given his speech in the stairwell of an NCP car.
Just stinks of piss everywhere.
But even if you wanted that background, you could have just put it on your computer. You didn't need to travel to Doncaster and speak to nobody slightly off to one side.
Yes, that's absolutely chilling, that aspect, isn't it?
It's like their train broke down 2 stops too early and he had to make up a reason he was in Doncaster. We were going to York, but my wife's mother came from near a racecourse.
I think it's really bad that there hasn't been a speech since 67. Like, they haven't been there in that time.
Yeah, it's not ideal, is it?
We haven't been here since the invention of colour television because you kept voting for us anyway. Now we've lost, we've started to panic slightly. He's quite eerie though. It was sort of like he was reading the eulogy at his own funeral.
Oh.
I will be sorely missed. There is something of Ed Miliband about him, and it's like when Labour says to itself, what's electable, what do people want? And they sort of go, well, someone with an intimacy disorder and inflamed adenoids.
Oh, I love Ed Miliband. I will not hear about
He's
it.
better, but he's better now that he doesn't have the stress.
But I think Starmer's the same. I bet you if you got him on a funny podcast, it'd be quite a laugh.
COVID-19 has been the biggest health crisis in modern times, but luckily one plucky paramedic knew exactly what he had to do. He had no option but to strap on a jetpack and dick about in the Lake District. Here he is in a thrilling and futuristic report on BBC Breakfast.
A test flight for the Great North Air Ambulance Service that they hope will lead to them launching the world's first jet suit paramedic.
You know, a personal experience of carrying medical kit up the side of a mountain in the lakes to get to someone having a heart attack is so difficult.
The jet suits, in fact, you've got a couple sitting behind here, they work by using microjet engines. So pretty much the same things that you have on a jet aircraft, you know, jetliner. There's two on each arm, one on the back. If you point them increasingly downwards, you go up, and as you flare them out, you come down again.
Quite important to remember the last bit, isn't it? Oh. Down is up, up is down.
But if he gets there, all you can do is give him a hairdry. It's not effective.
Or phone a helicopter, and he flies up there and goes, oh yeah, you need a helicopter. At best, he's going to get his hands under their armpits and just fly them up into the rotor blade.
It's like you're dying, and then suddenly a Dyson airblade turns around.
At least dress as death. Hover over the moor.
Just a big black cape.
I think it's a nice story. It's the only story of 2020 where the tech is in the hands of the right people.
Yeah.
Like if it was Elon Musk that came up with this, he'd just use it to call pilots pedos.
I can't wait to see sort of a ribbed sweatshirt of a St John's ambulance nipping over a fate one day.
Now, one of the most dramatic moments of 2020 was when a helicopter delivering a donor organ crash-landed on the rooftop of a Los Angeles hospital. With time running out for the transplant, one disbelieving reporter describes the extraordinary events.
It had flown from Gillespie Field in El Cajon with a donor heart from Sharp Grossmont Hospital in La Mesa for a transplant operation. Now, for an unknown reason, the chopper flipped on its side, and then the unthinkable happens. Take a look at this. Crews able to get the heart out of that helicopter. It was then handed over to one of the hospital's medical personnel. Now, as that person leaves the helipad, he suddenly accidentally trips on a metal plate, falls to the ground, dropping the heart. Others were quickly able to pick up that organ and rush it inside for the operation.
On the bright side, a local dog got an amazing dinner. No, I have to say, the transplant was successful. The heart was okay.
But the heart is clearly cursed. It's clearly the start of a Stephen King novel. The helicopter crashes, the person falls over.
We don't know why the helicopter crashed. I think that any parents, that's 5-second rule. They picked it up pretty quickly, didn't they? Just dusted it off from the trousers.
A couple of dog hairs, throw it in.
That heart will have inspired like 1,000 country songs. It's like first you crashed my heart, and you dropped it down the stairs.
Why did the surgeons let gesture back at the helicopter go? Are any of them dead?
I can't go back in there with nothing.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks to my guests, Miles Jupp, Sophie Duker, Holly Walsh, Kerry Pritchard McLean, Rob Delaney and Ken Cheng. But before I go, I'd like to leave you with this thought. I know that sometimes this year it might have felt like the whole world was against you. But it's worth remembering that actually nobody gives a shit about you. Which can be a liberating realisation. Let me explain. Something not a lot of people know about me is that many years ago, in a former life, I was a beautiful wood nymph. The willow tree in which I lived gave welcome shade to passing herdsmen and courting couples, some of whom would shag against my trunk, and I'd shout encouragement like, yeah, come on, do it. But all the lovers would hear was the gentle rustling of my leaves, which I found very frustrating, because even today I'm a naturally supportive person whenever I'm at one of our entertainment industry orgies. Go deeper, Mr. Attenborough, I'll shout. Well, that's it, Dame Judy. Relax your jaw. You can take it. Good on you. Just wait there, I'll fetch you a wet wipe. One afternoon, back when I was a dryad, a thirsty huntsman by the name of Narcissus knelt at the water's edge to drink, and as he drank, he happened to glimpse his reflection in the silvery surface. He fell hopelessly in love, and he pined away on the grassy banks of the pond and died. But when his sisters came to bury him, they didn't find a body. All they found was an exquisite white flower. What they didn't realise is that about an hour before, a pair of randy herdsmen had discovered the still warm corpse of Narcissus and dragged it off to a woodshed to use as history's first sex doll. Which brings me to the subject of narcissism. Now, by narcissism, I don't mean taking pride in yourself or your identity. If you're gay and your dad isn't supportive, be proud. And at least take comfort in telling him that you're going to end his genetic line, that you're going to take millennia of refinements and improvements to his DNA and blast them into the barren soil of a barista's arsehole. No, I mean that you should take a stroll through the packed House of Commons bar, just as it really livens up at 10:30 p.m. at night. And if you can see anything through the blizzard of champagne corks and whiskey-flecked spittle, what you'll see is a sad mass of broken half-humans, hobbled by unrequitable self-love. Our modern political history is an irredeemable conga line of narcissism, from Churchill to Johnson via Tony Blair. True narcissism comes from trauma. It's no wonder our leaders have performed so badly in this crisis. Many top Tories are probably triggered by pandemic terminology, as in childhood, by the time a second wave came, their parents' car was already just a speck at the school gates. Narcissism is why our Prime Minister is a horned-up Hoover bag who speaks like a pillow that absorbed the groans of its last victim. Boris Johnson thought that the job of Prime Minister would fill the void within him, that he would finally enter an endless celebration of self. Instead, he has spent the year wandering solemnly into a wooden room to tell us how many people can eat at Nando's. He did finally get to show us his Churchillian qualities, but sadly, these were a tendency towards racist comments and obesity. So when the fun people are getting asked to do cool stuff and go to barbecues, our broken, haunted future rulers are left standing around in little clumps of mediocrity, thinking about how they can privatise the health service. And that's why it all gets formalised into university societies and private members' clubs. They just don't know how to have a proper friendship. They're sitting there once the small talk dies down, whispering, "What do we do now? Fuck a pig?" I suppose if I could boil it down to one sentence, it's this. We need to stop treating the traumatised monsters who rule over us as bumbling eccentrics. Good night.
Yo, I'm the hot dog, the runner hottest monologue install, poetic inserts and yes, y'all. My speech is like holding 2 blocks apiece, the outreach that rock police, the super